Hello and welcome to Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast. 2 weeks in a row, back on the bandwagon for now.
Yes.
But I don't want to be trapped by the responsibility, the heavy weight of the podcast. But we also don't want to be flaky, so we're riding that fine line, that balance of trying to do what we're supposed to be doing, but not letting it haunt us when we aren't able to pull it off for whatever reason. So Trystan is here, and we're going to just go through a little bit of our typical segments and pieces of our podcast. And Trystan is yawning, didn't get enough sleep, but that's all right. We'll try to wake her up because I got some dad jokes.
Oh, no.
But let's talk about my last trip, Trystan, because we did a youth curriculum committee meeting. We all flew out to Chicago, and I cannot say enough about the people that are involved in these curriculums that pay their ways to get there, their plane and their hotel, and all of the taking time off work, and meeting for the to put together this curriculum, but it's basically they're paying money to get involved in a project that they're going to give thousands of hours to. It's incredible, and I cannot speak highly enough of all these men. Now, not everybody was able to go, and that doesn't mean they are not committed. It means they just could not pull it off.
Yeah.
And so we had a great turnout there, and we really do feel like we got a lot done. We have the format completely established. We have all the topics picked for the first 2 books.
Oh, nice.
It's very different from any other curriculum. It's not going to be a take off of Acts in Action, but we have a really cool name for it, and I hope I can spill the beans on the name. It's called Apostolic DNA.
Oh, nice.
The DNA is doctrine in action.
Oh, nice. That's
So
cool.
it's going to be both doctrine, but put in action. You got to put some legs behind it.
Okay.
You hear all the time about you got it in your apostolic DNA. You hear that constantly, and so that's what that's a takeoff of. And of course, that idea came from the one and only Sister Becky Manwarren, who has all the good ideas. Apparently, she really is very gifted in just many ways, but. Just the ideas she comes up with consistently are good. And so we were bouncing ideas off. As soon as she said it, we bounced a few ideas later, and then we kept coming back to it. Finally, we're like, nope, that's what we're at. Apostolic DNA. And so it's not going to look the same. The topics are not the same. And again, I don't want to give too much, but this curriculum is a course written by the committee that assembled there in Chicago and others. But it's also going to be helped by many of the great apostolic preachers in Pentecost. We're going to be having, now we haven't reached out to these people, so I don't want to name too many names, but people that you know well that will have contributed to the lessons in this book. I mean, we're talking household names of the WPF, and it's going to be incredible. So,
wow, that's amazing.
Yep. So we're excited about what all is going to come out of that, and thank you again to all the people that made that happen and are going to make it happen because this is a big project. As far as when it's going to come out, first book should be releasing September at Summit. Now, I say releasing; it will be there as a preview, but there is something that we're playing with because we don't want the timing to match up at all with Acts in Action curriculum, meaning 2 books released both on January 1st from 2 different curriculums. Some of us are doing both. It would kill us.
Yeah.
And so this is what I suggested, or rather it was like a plea to not overwhelm ourselves. And then it came to this thought of what if we publish 2 books at once? Okay, so the first 2 books are released at the same time, which gives us then 6 months to write the next one.
Okay.
Or we do 4 months for the next one. That gives us 4 months for the next one. That just gives us a little bit of a break. Right now we're on a 3-month cycle for the Acts in Action. And it sounds like a long time, but it's not. It's just not. There are 160 pages of information, and then you have the layout time and publishing. And it takes a while. And so we don't want to overwhelm all of our people. And Sister Trystan, I believe that light's off right there. We're going to get that on. One of our big floodlights is off, so we're going to fix that, but we're going to try to make this relatively unedited, and so we're going to keep going. So the youth curriculum, that is coming, and thank you again for everybody. But let's talk about the podcast network. I was listening to a podcast from Brother James Pelletier, Sunday School Junkie, as I was headed over here. And it's just great stuff. And it's free. It's free. If you are looking for resources for your teachers, for yourself, for anybody involved in children's ministry, go to Apostolic Podcast Network. You can go on linktr.ee/Apostolic Podcast Network or Apostolic Sunday School /APN. Anyway, just go there and start listening to stuff.
Yes.
And it's not just what's current, which is great, but there's a backlog of hundreds of podcasts from all of these incredible podcasts, and we highly recommend that you dive in and make yourself, make your Sunday school, make all of the people you're associated with better, because it's just a ton of information from some of the greatest children's ministers in Pentecost.
Very true.
Myself excluded. So, which leads us to something. We love children's ministry.
Yes, definitely.
But go ahead and lay it on us, Tristan. We are not
experts.
No,
we don't
not even a
claim
little
to
bit.
be experts.
Nope. And if we are trying to help anybody with these podcasts, it's me and you. That's Tristan and me.
Yes.
And if you happen to pick up something along the way, that's great.
All the better for it.
But we don't have this thing figured out. We ain't. What do they say? I got the world by the tail. No. We feel like sometimes we're the one whirling around. But we do love it. And so
Yes.
I think it's time to get on with the podcast. What you think?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Well, boy, I think it's time for a dad joke.
Well, Tristan, it's time for Dad Joke.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I gave you one last week. I don't think I did, because we talked about the Gina CMC. Speaking of which, we have a CMC coming up here in Rialto,
We do.
April 24th through the 26th, and we already have some incredible people lined up. Brother Ryan Gregg, one of the greatest people that speak on bus ministry anywhere in the world, and that
Very
is
true.
not hyperbole. He's unbelievable.
Very true.
We have Brother Gabe Baker coming back. We have, I believe, the Bradshaw's coming back. We have some local people as well. Anyway, it's going to be really good stuff. And we have a Friday night service for kids.
Yes.
And a Sunday morning service for kids for those that your pastor allows you to stay over. We would love to have you involved in both of those services. Now, the Friday night is specifically for the attendees of the conference to run the service.
yeah.
Sunday morning will be a little more dialed in with our local staff, but with all the outside that stay, we want you mixed in.
Yes.
If you want to be. Some people would prefer not to be.
Yeah.
And we get that. So there's no problem at all. So I got distracted. Now let's get back to the dad jokes, all right? So Sister Tristan, do you like math?
Yeah, I like math.
Do you like Roman numerals?
I mean, yeah.
Hey, your clock is in Roman numerals, yeah. So there's a song by Haywood Banks, and he talks about counting the wheels on a big wig, and he goes I.
That's honestly so
I.
impressive. Yeah.
Well, it's just a really funny,
Counts to 18 in Roman numerals.
yeah, silly thing that we learned. But I, for one, like Roman numerals. I, for one. Because one is I
I understand.
in Roman numerals.
I understand.
I and one are the same. So I, for one, like Roman numerals.
Wow.
That was too sophisticated, so let's go to
No,
the bottom of the barrel.
no,
Nope,
I got
wanted
it.
to teach my
I
dog
got
how to
it.
dance, but I found out he had 2 left feet.
Also has 2 right feet.
So what'd you think? Ladies and gentlemen,
Obviously been a while.
it has been a while, and I was thinking during that time, perhaps your sophisticated sense of humor had returned, but clearly it had not. So let's go to the next segment. All right, Sister Tristan, I think it's time for our victories and bloopers. What you think?
Ooh, yes.
Should we do it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So, victories and bloopers. We failed a little bit. We did not contact all of our teachers like we normally do to try to get their input. And so we have to go off of our recollections, which is sketchy at best, at least for me.
Yes, no, definitely for me too.
So let's talk about some victories and bloopers. I have one that doubles as both.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
in the youth class, we have different pieces to it. One of them is the object lesson, and we had Brother Jose come in, and he did a short object lesson, and we were talking about the call of God, the will of God. Well, as part of it, he spread out a big tarp and had a table in the middle of the tarp. So we knew something was about to get messy, but we didn't know what was going to go down. Well, he pulls out a phone, and he opens it. It turns out to be a flip phone, like a
yeah.
I think it was a Google flip phone of some kind. And so he's talking about distractions and the things that can pull you away from the will of God. And he said, this is one of them, your phone. So he said, I think we should get rid of it. So he has someone take a brick and beat the pudding out of this phone. I mean, smashed it to absolute splinters. I just beat it. And so I'm like, wow, I guess, that phone, clearly didn't work anymore. Well, I found out it did work. It was fine. He just didn't use it. And so he thought that was a good use of it. I was like, dude, I got plenty of broken ones you could have used.
Oh my goodness.
But no, he used what had been, $1,200 phone.
Wow.
For an object lesson. So that's both a victory and a blooper. If the guy's balling like that,
That's crazy.
I would have sold that dude on eBay and bought a piece of junk.
Yeah.
But then after class, all the boys from the youth class, they took it outside and kept beating it. Now they were smart enough to realize that, there's batteries in there. If you smash batteries, potentially it can catch on fire.
Yeah.
And so they were telling each other, don't smash this. In fact, I peeled it out for them so they wouldn't accidentally smash it. What we didn't know, and what I was afraid of, is that in a flip phone, there's 2 batteries on each side of the phone. So they were beating the snot out of this second battery this whole time, but they were being so careful holding the other battery.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
it did not catch on fire, but it was not from lack of trying. And by the time I got to say, I was not the mature adult here. I actually gave him a hammer for my tool bag and let him just beat the snot out of that thing. Because
so
everybody
funny.
wants to beat a phone every now and then. In fact, I got involved in it. So we beat it up. By the time it was done, every kid had a piece that they took with them. And
That's a good little reminder.
a little scrap of phone.
There we go.
Yeah, that was our little victory blooper. How about you?
Well, we had one that also doubles as it's not a blooper, but it's not a total victory either.
You know what I heard today?
What?
Brother Pelletier put this in the chat, and they said something like, people do not connect with your failures. Or excuse me, I got it backwards. People do not connect with your successes. They connect with your failures. And the whole point is that sometimes we can go and say, hey, this really great thing happened, and people are like, that's nice. I mean, and it's not that they don't care. It's just like they have no connection to it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you mention a failure, they're like, oh, yeah, that's me. And so that's why we do these bloopers and failures.
Yes.
And so, or bloopers and hopefully there's victories on the other end of it. And so, anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so this one, like I said, it's not like exactly a blooper, but it's a win for us, but it's not a win for everyone involved. So, you good? So, I walked into
Had to get
Sunday
my
school on Sunday morning. Oh, it was before bus, and I walked in, and I saw the last person I ever expected to see. Well, not ever, but I expected to see at that moment, and it was Delaney, because she is back.
Delaney is back.
in the
now,
U.S. of A.
Oh, we're thrilled to have her back, of course.
This is why I said it's a victory for us, because we love having her here, but it's not a victory for everyone involved.
Well, it's not a victory for even us because we know how
much she wants to.
torn she is.
Yeah.
So, as you know, she is in the Middle East doing missionary work in Jordan, and the climate there is rough, like really bad, and getting worse. And finally, it was just time to come home. And so she's here, but inside she's quietly dying because she wants to be at home.
Yeah.
To her is Jordan now. And so she's dying. We're thrilled she's here, but it's hard to be too excited when you can see it.
Yeah.
Like, every time you talk to her, you can tell.
I know you asked her.
It's not fake. It's the real deal.
I know
So
you asked her
tough.
if she was going to be here for junior camp, and I just remember her saying, I hope not.
Well, she let me know yesterday that she is. And so she is going to be here at junior camp, which I am thrilled about. She's one of my favorite people at junior camp. And so excited, but we want her to be where God wants her to be. And so anyway, it was a tough pill to swallow for her, but hopefully she'll get back there soon.
Yes, definitely.
Speaking of junior camp, this is a victory. It is now officially on the table because we didn't know if we were going to even have junior camp. I wasn't advertising this too much, but the road up to our junior camp got washed out during some big floods that we had. Yeah. And so we didn't know if we could even go to camp. There was a way there, but it was like an extra 2-hour drive to get there. And that would be a tough sell to parents. So we didn't do any advertising. We haven't set up registration. Everybody's like, hey, what's going on with junior camp? Well, we finally found out that it looks like we're good to go. So the roads are not open, but they're like flagging you through, and so you can get a car through. Before it was like they were closed up till 5 p.m. and then open after and open on weekends. But now it looks like you can get a car through at least by camp. We'll be able to get it where we can still get people up there and back. So that's exciting, and we're going to be putting out all that registration definitely by next week at the latest. But I apologize for how late the info is coming. But it wasn't for lack of desire. It was just because that's just how it fell. Well, Trystan, I think it's time for the voice from the outside. I know you're thinking, wait. Wasn't that the thought from the notebook? Yes, it was, until Brother James Pelletier sent us a message that I wanted to put in one of our podcasts. Yes. Now, we referenced it previously, but we didn't put it in.
Yes.
But now I'm putting it actually in there. And I didn't get express permission to do this. But I know Brother Pelletier well enough to know he's going to be good with it. So here it is, talking about it's not about you. And so, Brother Pelletier, take it away.
I wanted to take a few minutes today to drop a little reminder with you that really I think every one of us needs to remember. And I'm going to sum it up right here at the beginning, right at the front, with a phrase that I bet you have thought before. You might have even told this to somebody, and that is, it's not about you. I'm pretty sure most of us have seen someone that we really wanted to say that to. It's not about you. We all know that person that just seems to make it all about them. And typically, if you're on the receiving end of that phrase, it stings. Usually it means you probably swerved out of your lane, if you know what I mean. But today, I want all of us to remember, it's not about you. It's not about me. But I don't mean it as a correction in any kind of way. It's an encouragement. It's not about you. Today, it's an encouragement. I think many of us, we get stuck and we get hung up and we limit ourselves because we see our weakness. We see our flaws. We see our inadequacy. We see our shortcomings. So for those of us that look at our shortcomings, and that's all of us, I think, it's not about you is freeing. It's a freeing phrase because it's an important reminder. We're teaching kids. We're serving. We're ministering. And when you teach and when you serve and when you minister, it's not about you. It's not about how funny you are. It's not about how confident you feel. It's not about whether you nailed every line or you forgot half of them. It's about God. It's about the kids. And it's about bringing those two things together. You will likely never feel good enough. You'll probably never feel talented enough. You will never feel fully confident. Don't let those things stop you or cause you to hesitate, because it's not about you. There will always be somebody more creative, somebody more organized, someone who seems more gifted. But God didn't call them to where you are. He didn't call them to Rialto, to Inland Lighthouse. He called you. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. This verse is quoted often. His strength is not made perfect in our talent. It's not made perfect in our polish. It's not made perfect in our personality. It's made perfect in our weakness. And that means the moments you feel inadequate are the moments that God steps in. If we were enough on our own, we wouldn't need him. And this has never been about us or about us being enough. It's about him being enough. Jeremiah 9:23 and 24, if we were allowed to have a favorite passage, a favorite scripture, This would be my favorite. And it says, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. And it goes on, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. I promise you, I am not the smartest guy in the room right now. And actually right now, it's just me and Kermit. So I'm not the smartest guy in the room right now. I'm not the strongest man in the room right now. And I sure enough ain't the richest guy in the room right now. But I know God. I know him. And it's not about me. It's about him. And it's about these kids. And bringing those two things together. Bringing God and the kids in the same place to meet each other. This verse, it doesn't say glory in your skill, glory in your puppeteer ability, glory in your creativity. It doesn't say glory in your confidence, but glory in this, that you know God, that you know him. That's what matters. You may not be the most clever joke master, the best puppeteer, the most legendary object lesson teacher, the most immersive character in the skit. But you know him. You know God. And when you know him, you don't have to be the light. You just reflect it. Think about the moon. The moon has no light of its own. None. It's dark and it's cold and it's kind of creepy. But it reflects the sun. And on the darkest nights, that reflection makes the night bearable. And that's us. We're not the source. We're the reflection. We have no light of our own. None. We reflect the sun. And in our dark world, that reflection makes the night bearable. That reflection will draw these kids who are trapped in darkness to the living God. Some days, you might feel like a full moon, strong and confident and ready. And some days, you may feel like a tiny sliver. But even a sliver pushes back darkness. In John 3:30 says, he must increase, but I must decrease. It's not insecurity, it's alignment. Now let me balance this because this matters too. We should strive for excellence. We should prepare. We should grow. We should sharpen our craft, our abilities. We should aim to be the best we can be. And I think a lot of these reminders that we get include the verse Colossians 3:23. Whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord. So yes, bring your best. But even when you're excellent, it's a good reminder that it's not about you. Excellence is our effort. Impact is God showing up. Confidence in your ability is not wrong, but forgetting the source can get us off track, out of our lane. We're bridges. You don't stand on a bridge and applaud the bridge. Bridge is focused on where it's taking you. You're focused on where it's taking you. Our job is to connect kids to God. And if you have to wear something goofy to get their attention, do it. If you mess up and you laugh at yourself, do it. If you feel weak walking in, depend on him. Because our weakness doesn't disqualify us. As a matter of fact, God's strength shines through in our inadequacies. If you ever walk into that room thinking, I don't know if I'm enough, I want to assure you today that you're right. You're not, but he is. And you know him. And when someone knows him, stands in front of the kids who need him, you'll shine his light. You'll reflect his light. And the darkness will shift. Lives will be changed. All because it's not about you.
Well, it's time for that Objectively Cool. That is the new object lesson that has not yet been recorded. It's not on Apostolic Sunday School, but hopefully will be one day.
Yep.
And we were going through a list, and I was looking at them, and Tristan said, "What's that one?" And I said, "Well, it's a." And as we started talking about it, I realized, let's use that one because that's good.
Yes.
It's called musical glasses, but I'm sure there will be some cute, clever name for it soon. And the object lesson is that you have however many glasses you want, but 8 is a good number. Not these kind of glasses. We're talking like a clear glass thing that you drink out of. And you fill them with different levels of liquid. Now, if you can tune them, you can actually ding, and you can get a note out of it. And you can fill each one with different levels of liquid, and you can get the full octave. So you can get, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and you can have a full where you can actually play a song. Now, you don't have no sharps or flats or anything, but at least you can play something. And so the idea is that you get these glasses set up and you play a simple song. Mary had a little lamb, ding, 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 ding. On these glasses, even if it's a little off, who cares? People get the idea. And you talk about how these glasses are just like us, just like all of us. Now, you can have 8 identical glasses, and the variation is maybe the color of the water and, of course, the level of the water. Or you can have glasses that are totally different in appearance. They could be, short and squatty or tall and skinny or different shapes and sizes and whatever.
Yeah.
And so you have them, they're all different. And this is like us. We're all different, but we're all necessary to make up the kingdom of God. And without one of us, what would we do? And of course, you pull out one of the key notes from the song you played. Say it's Mary Had a Little Lamb. You pull out E, right? And so you don't have that. So instead of ding, 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 you have ding, 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 ding. And it's a piece that you have to have. And you don't have it. And we talk about how everybody is important in the kingdom of God. There are no non-essential people. Nobody is the one that God doesn't care about. And everybody's important. We have an important part to play. And it doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are, how fat you are, how skinny you are, how pretty you are, how athletic you are. None of that matters as long as you put yourself in God's hands and let Him, the master maestro, whatever, let him do the work. And so, anyway, that was one that I had seen. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
So I think we need to record it, or at least do it maybe in an Apostolic Kids video.
Ooh,
yeah.
That'd be
cool. One day we'll get it out to y'all, but until then, use it. It's a good idea.
Yep.
All right, Tristan, have you been into the archives again?
I have.
Been on apostolicsundayschool.com and been looking in there and trying to find some things that maybe haven't been talked about too much lately?
Yes.
What you find?
So this one is not exactly a skit, but it's also not exactly an object lesson. It's kind of like a mix of each one.
I'm a little confused. All right, lay it on me.
Do you remember the object lesson talking about the trash bag? It was you and Brother Lee that recorded it.
Oh, yeah.
Brother
Yeah,
Lee?
it is a skit.
But I'm saying it's still kind of an object lesson.
Yeah, ish. Mm-hmm.
So basically it's that he was walking in and he has a trash bag over his shoulder. And that's basically representing all the sin that he has.
And you act like it's really heavy and you're struggling to carry it.
And so Brother Lee, who is our church-wide playing Jesus, he was like playing Jesus in this context, and he was like, basically like, okay, like give me your sin, I can take it away. And he was acting like he was embarrassed of it, and he's like, I don't want to give it away. And then
I don't want you to see my trash. It's just too yucky yet.
So eventually he does give it. But then
I'm so excited. I'm free. Oh my goodness, I feel so light. I'm so happy. Woohoo! Yeah. And I start like dancing around like this is awesome. And Jesus is like, yes, I took your burden for you. And then I remember I had something in that bag I wanted.
Yes. So you go back.
And I said, Jesus, can I get something out of that bag? I forgot something. And so you open the bag and you pull out something out of it. Of course, it represents something that you just can't get rid of. And you're like, thank you so much, Jesus. He's like, no. I need it all. You don't get to pick and choose. You need to give it all to me. Well, I really, really like, you know what? And while I'm at it, I like this one too. And basically, one by one, he starts taking back everything because he didn't actually want to give it to Jesus. He loved the freedom. He loved having the burden gone. but he also liked the burden in some ways.
Yeah.
He liked the things that he had.
And then what I was reading at the end is like there's also a thing where you can like once you finally are like, okay, like Jesus, you can have it all, and then like basically Jesus like throws it somewhere off and basically saying it's in the sea of forgetfulness. So now I don't have it, you don't have it, it's gone.
Yeah. So it's a really good skit, and I think it's by a team on YouTube called One Time Blind or something like that. Mm-hmm. They have several really, really good ones. There's one called The Red Balloon that's amazing as well. But if you want to check it out, go look at it. It's on Apostolic Sunday School, but it's also on their YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
Do you know the exact name for it?
It is just called The Trash Bag.
The Trash Bag. Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, Tristan, it's time for the final little piece of this. This is going to be a short one today.
Yep.
We've included all the segments, I think, but we're still trying to knock it down, make it a little shorter than normal. And this one is kind of a weird topic, but I was going through my notes, and it was one that I had written down, and I wanted to talk about it, even though it's not fully fleshed out in my mind. Maybe us talking about it will help accomplish that, or maybe you guys listening can help us. And as you hear what we're about to talk about, maybe you can contribute. You can throw some thoughts this way on how to more fully flesh this thought out.
Yes.
Basically, we're talking about how most kids in general, are naturally sensitive to the things of God.
Yes, very true.
If you're trying to reach an adult and a child, typically you're going to reach the child first. Mm-hmm. That's why when you have like a junior camp, you have 25, 30 kids get the Holy Ghost because they're just so open and receptive to it. You have that same number of adults that didn't have the Holy Ghost go to a camp. Odds are high you're not going to have as many. Of course you're going to have, God's going to move. But the factor that separates the two is that kids are very innocent. They're open. They believe what you say. If you say something is true to them, it's true. They're not naturally skeptic, and so you don't have to teach a kid how to feel conviction. They just know. They don't. You don't even have to teach them sometimes how to respond. Sometimes they just know how to respond to God. How to believe. That's just kind of built in because they're pure, they're innocent, and hopefully they're open and they're ready for God to do something in their lives. But I heard somebody say recently, I think it was Brother Wells at the CMC, I think it was him, and he said, when I'm looking in the altar or when something is happening like in a kid's service and you start to feel the presence of God, he said you can look around and you see kids start to be affected. Some of them are crying. Some of them are just locked in. Some are paying attention. He said, but there are those that are completely disconnected. He said, and I get really worried about those because kids that are disconnected at that age, not disconnected as in they have ADD and they're looking at a squirrel, looking at a moth. That's not what I'm talking about. But they're just disinterested in the things of God. That's when he said, I get scared because that's not normal. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. And I was reading somewhere else about that sensitivity that kids have can be covered up sometimes. It can be blanketed by not their own insensitivity, but it can be blocked by by the noise that the world generates. There's a lot of stuff that the world throws at kids, whether it's aimed at them or not. There's a lot of stuff that can destroy their sensitivity. That can be screens of whatever kind. It can be a phone. It can be computers. It can be the gaming consoles. All the things that are out there. It can be the constant notifications and pop-ups and text messages. And the music's always playing. They always have headphones in. I can't say too much because I'm always listening to audio. But it's a thing that there's just noise. They're always watching videos. Conversations are always happening. Their minds are always occupied. There's always something going on. And maybe it's even stuff like they're dealing with stuff at home. Yeah. Family issues. Moms and dads that aren't in church or the division in the home or just things that create barriers. They create noise in a kid's life where you have trouble breaking through that to reaching them. And it feels like there's never a quiet moment. There's just never a moment that you can reach the kids. And so that noise is something that can be a struggle in today's world. And again, these aren't fully fleshed out thoughts, and not all of it's really continuous. But, God talks in the Bible. He speaks many times in a still small voice.
Yeah.
He doesn't try to out-noise the noise. He doesn't try to out-scream it. Now, sometimes it feels like he does. Sometimes it feels like he goes out of his way to make sure that people listen.
Yeah.
Like a big car wreck or something. It's like, hey, no, you're going to listen. There are things that's going to wake you up. But that's not typical. And usually it's he prods and he gently nudges and prods until he can get a response. But the kids need to know how to slow down. Mm-hmm. And so the thought today is, rather than be upset at the world, upset at the noise, the chaos that our kids live in, is how can we be more effective at cutting through the noise and reaching the kids?
Yeah.
Even that child that, oh, there's my phone again. Oh, I love my phone that rings at the most inopportune times. Even the one that is disconnected at the wrong time. How can we cut through the noise of that particular kid's life and reach him?
Yeah.
It might not be in a church setting that you reach him. It might be a one-on-one. It might be going to the home. It might be talking to the parents. It might be doing a Bible study. It might be just talking to the kids and just trying to figure life out with them. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what it takes to cut through the noise. I don't really have the answers for it. But kids should be sensitive, and when they're not, something's wrong, and we got to figure out what we can do to cut through it.
Yeah.
So there needs to be, we need to create moments where a child can recognize that God is speaking. We need to educate them on the fact that, hey, there are times that when everybody else is locked in, I've noticed you kind of floating away a little bit. Hey, recognize those moments. Mm-hmm. Try to lock yourself in because God's talking to you, and I really need to respond at times like that. So, again, that wasn't all a fully fleshed out thought. It was just kind of a combination of a few different thoughts that I've heard over the last few weeks. And so that's all I had for today. So, Trystan, I think it's time to let these poor people go.
Yep, I think so.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Again, Apostolic Podcast Network, and check out all the incredible podcasts. But until then, we'll see you later. God bless. See you next time.